Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a pretty turn red. Can't let that shit play in my hand, war gaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, hanging out with Fox.
What's up?
And of course, I've brought Churchy.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, he's brought me along.
It's good to have you here, Churchy.
I'm still in the void. Yeah.
Yep.
He lives in the void.
Yep.
He's banished to the void.
I like that you brought our producer to the episode. That's very thoughtful
What
of
I
you.
do.
Just a treat.
Yeah.
Just an absolute treat for Churchy.
Yep.
You're welcome, mate. This is the studio. This is where we record our episodes.
That's where you work.
That's where you work, over there, in the seat.
Where I'm sitting.
Yeah, where you sitting?
Every day. Every Sunday.
Yeah. Bro, are you okay? No. This is not Are You Okay, David?
I'm not okay. I've got problems, dude.
Okay, all right, well.
So it all started back when...
Okay, yeah.
Douglas?
No, let's get into it. What do we got? You know what? I don't need to... Douglas?
Dr. Douglas.
Dr. Douglas.
Yeah.
Throwback to episode a few weeks ago where we did Fox's top 5 hated. I actually don't even know my hated models. I don't even know if we really properly explained who Dr. Douglas is.
We didn't, but all we know is that he was furiously naked.
No, I was.
Oh.
Well, not again, we can't use words like fury. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem with today's society is that we use negative words like forceful, aggressive, you know, when we could have used words like passionate
Okay.
and enthusiastic.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if my doctor was passionately naked, I'd be somewhat concerned.
Yeah, but that's the problem. He was fully clothed.
That's the problem.
Well, that's what he thinks is the problem. That's his words, not mine. That's verbatim from the court records. I have no control over what he said on the stand with God as his witness. I'm just saying we could do better to present people in a nicer light.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's something we should take from that case.
Yep.
But I don't know because I'm not allowed to talk to him or go near that clinic again.
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
Yeah, and again, not my fault, just a misunderstanding.
Oh, yeah, a big misunderstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
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 So anywhere it says small in the court documents,
Yeah.
Shane says it was a big misunderstanding.
Okay, yeah.
And you're a better witness than the 17
I wasn't
people
there.
that saw it. All right, so today's episode, speaking of law,
We're building that law.
we're building that law.
That's canon.
It is canon. That's Hobby Homies canon.
Just tell me, write that down.
Yeah, keep that in the archives.
This home.
So this episode, for some reason, is about game development, or rather, more specifically, us making games.
Homebrew games.
Homebrew games.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize this was such a common thing among tabletop wargamers and every other field as well.
Yeah.
But this is our niche.
Yeah.
So get out. Anyone else with any other niches, get out. This is ours. You can't have it.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're all about building community here at Hobby Homies Podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But get it.
But get out if you're trying to steal a niche, Dr. Douglas. Does him seeing this episode is count? That probably doesn't
I think
count against
it's going to violate your AVO, dude.
Just keep using words from the court case. Violate. Anyway.
Furiously violated.
So you're adding furiously. That was only they only said that twice. They only said that twice. Anyway. So we are talking about how tabletop wargamers, for some reason, really enjoy playing tabletop games. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But then they also want to make their own. So that's crazy.
Do you feel like people make their own because they just find like something lacking in the games that they play?
I just think they're passionate and enthusiastic.
Furious?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think we all, I feel like we kind of all did it with video games, right? Where it's like when you're kids, you're like, oh, if I had a video game, I'd make it like this, this, and this.
Yeah, but like that's like Halo with like bubblegum.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'd make if I was a kid.
I'm sorry, hang on.
Halo.
We're gonna really break this down. We're gonna have to take a minute. We'll get to the episode in a second. We're just gonna spend some time on this. What do you mean?
What do you think's lacking from Halo?
You brought up Halo. What do you mean? What do I think is lacking from Halo? You brought it up.
I don't know why you're making such a big deal about it. It's alright, dude. It's alright. Just tell me where Dr. Douglas touched you. Oh, well, this is the content we produce here at Hobby Homies.
You're setting the parameters. And then asking me why I have a problem
Is
with
it hot in here?
I just wanted to, I'm glad I took this moment to explore Halo with bubblegum. Yeah, so like
Say less.
you picked one of the greatest games of all time and said you can barely add anything to it. I'm talking about like literally any other game. And you took Halo and you said you could add bubblegum.
Tony Hawk's with
Yeah, here we go. I'm ready.
a tank.
What'd you say with a tank?
Yeah.
See? That's the type of shit I was talking about.
Okay.
When people are like, oh, you know, it'd be cool. I'd make Tony Hawk's, but I put a tank in there.
Yeah, like you drive
And
the
you could
tank.
grind. Yeah, I'll drive it. Halo has tanks, but I mean, we can't add anything but bubblegum to Halo, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it needs.
So, anyway, tabletop gamers like making tabletop games.
Yep.
So, I've got like in my Google Drive, I've just got an absolute labyrinth of titles of little things that I've made over the years.
Yeah.
And I always kind of get like 3 or 4 pages into the rules, and I either get a new idea or I'm like, okay, it's time to like make the components to play test this.
Yep.
And
And you spend a day cutting out things, and then we go to play it, and we don't.
Yeah, because I go, oh no, there's the biggest flaw in my plan these days is like, if I want to play this game with my friends, I have to teach them to play. And I'm never doing that again.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? So I crunch up the components and hit delete on the thing.
Yeah.
So I thought this was just like a stupid me thing. Like, yeah, okay, I buy 17 armies and sell them. Of course, I would make 17 rule sets and never play them.
Sure.
That makes sense. I just can't focus. I've got no discipline.
No, you've got ADHD.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. Not diagnosed. Undiagnosed.
Self-diagnosed.
By you. We're not the same person, Shane. Well,
Some
debatable.
days.
So, apparently, other people do this as well. I'm not alone. And that brought about some buzz in the Discord, and we created a game development channel.
Thanks to Vumu, actually.
Thanks, Vumu.
He suggested it. He's like, message me, hey, how about this?
And you're like,
And I'm like, what do you reckon? And you're like, yeah, let's do it.
and it was done.
And so it was.
So it shall always be.
So says the good book.
Stare at me more. While I guzzle. He's always watching me while I guzzle.
Gots to.
So I made a game.
Yep.
I made 100 games, but this is the first game that I've actually this is like a 15-page rule book, which has expanded beyond the 12-page rule book
Nice.
that I mentioned in the Discord just previously.
Wow, you've had
Prior.
3 pages of... Oh, that one's blank.
Yeah, so, well, no, that says Project Hive
Oh,
March
so you added a cover.
and a contents page.
And so where's the extra page? The back page is probably blank.
It's got
You've added 1 paragraph.
it's got 3 lines on it. And it says
Yeah, I was being generous with the paragraph.
Yeah, you were letting me have it, and I just wouldn't let myself have it. I always do this.
I always do this to me.
Yeah. Why can't I just have something nice and just take the compliment? Okay, so I want to tell you about my game.
Yeah.
If we can get there one day.
Maybe.
Does it have bubblegum?
It needs bubblegum.
Well, now I understand how important that is into the crux of a game that Shane would play and enjoy.
Halo
He's
with
not happy with
bubblegum.
everything else that Halo Combat Evolved, one of the greatest games of all time, had.
Halo 2, though.
Oh, bro. Halo 2 is
intro.
like when you played Halo, you're like, what could possibly make this better? Maybe if you could like jump in if you could jump in the flying vehicles, that would be cool.
That'd be
But they probably can't do
sick.
that.
Yeah.
What if you could like jump on the vehicles
And
while
get
someone's
the guy
driving?
out of
Like,
there.
GTA that shit.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But yeah, anyways, maybe if they just make Halo again, that'd be cool. Oh, you could dual wielding would be cool. And it's just like they're like, yeah, bro, of course we'll do all that.
Yeah. And the
And then-
intro is going to be like fucking electric guitar.
Yeah, and the story's gonna be insane. Yeah, the intro.
Steve Vai, I think. Is it? Churchy,
Mate.
you know. He plays guitar, he knows.
Yeah, he
pretty
plays
sure it's
video
Steve Vai.
games and guitar. So
think
you
it's
know the
Steve Vai.
guitarist from Halo?
Yeah,
Halo
Steve Vai.
2?
It's Steve Vai, isn't it?
I don't
He's
think so.
nodding.
No, he's laughing, and that's the general motion
Google
of his head when he laughs.
Bring that up.
Bring it up. Bring it up, Churchy. Anyway, so then that's this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I want to tell you a little bit about the story of my game first to immerse yourself in this game. And where this is coming from, I love Tyranids
We know.
and Zerg.
We know.
My two biggest things is like Zerg from StarCraft with Bubblegum, of course,
Yep.
and Tyranids from Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
So I made a game where the aliens are the good dudes.
Yeah.
Or at least the game is framed in that perspective.
Yep.
So the concept is you're the last remnants.
Like Avatar.
Like, not even a little bit. What do you do? What's Churchy do? He's doing his own game.
Steve Vai.
Does that say Steve Vai?
I don't know. I can't
He's
read
doing
it.
something. He's preparing
Something
something
like
for the
size
masses.
0.1 font.
To you, yeah. It's actually size 24. I can read every word of that. Shane's no. There you go. So while Churchy cooks, while we let him cook,
Yep.
you're the remnant of a alien race.
Yep.
The last surviving pod.
Sure.
You've crash landed on a planet. What was that?
I think the TV's full.
Wow, that's a good throwback. Ever since we played the word game, you've been real sharp.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Shane is like
I went
on
On
point
it. On
tonight.
it.
I went from being the eraser end of the pencil
Yeah.
to the greylet end.
Now you're a razor scooter. Now you're a razor scooter instead of a razor end of a pencil. You're welcome. So, you're
Still can't read this.
you're an alien. You're aliens in a pod. You crash land on a planet.
Yeah.
The planet you felt was like abandoned. There's like some old facilities there, outposts or whatever. But as you do a light scouting of the area, there's like a little collection of hivelings,
Sure.
swarmlings. Sorry.
Yep.
And they've done some scouting of the area, and they see a couple of outposts with like military countermeasures. And so you retreat back to your nexus, which is what the pod becomes when it lands.
Oh, so like in every single RTS game, when the thing lands, it opens up.
Yeah, and that
that's your
becomes your
base.
base.
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah. It's not original.
Real quick.
This idea isn't original.
Real quick though.
Yeah. Did Steve Vai do the music to Halo? He worked with Martin O'Donnell and Mitchell Salvatore for production of Told you he did the guitar out too.
Yeah, but he also worked on some songs in the Halo 2 original soundtrack as a guitarist.
See?
As a guitarist. You didn't say that.
Which his performance was featured in the songs Reclaimer and Halo theme
Mjolnir mix.
Mjolnir mix.
The Mjolnir mix was incredible. That's the
Insane.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. Breaking Benjamin was also one of the main songs.
Yeah.
Blow Me Away. Halo 2. It's a cool scene where you enter a room and see the brutes, I think, or is there hunters in there? I can't remember. Anyways.
Blow me away. Yep.
Yeah.
I won't bring it up.
Breaking Benjamin. Is that what I said? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Breaking
yeah.
Benjamin.
Anyway, yeah, can you play that? What are they going to do? Copyright strike? Oh, we're going to lose all our money.
Yeah,
Look out.
Put the Halo soundtrack on. In the back.
Can that be our new intro? Why hasn't anyone thought of that yet?
They just should.
Yeah, they should. But this is our niche, so fuck off. All right. So, anyways, yeah, you crash land. That's your base. Anyway, so this is the game plays like, I want to say, what's not parsecs?
Command
What's
and
the
Conquer.
What's the fantasy parsecs?
Leech from the Borderlands.
Yeah, it plays like that, but with aliens.
Yeah, okay.
Command and Conquer, kind of. Maybe kind of.
Yes, Churchy.
You start with a
Take that.
gridded map. You start with a gridded map on an
Yep.
A4 piece of paper. You put your little nexus down randomly,
Okay.
like it's crash landed.
So like you roll a die and whichever spot it lands on?
Yeah, so there's like 11. It's like 11 grids across the top, 8 down the bottom.
Oh yeah, so you
So-
roll a D88.
Yeah, of course. Boom.
Yep.
On there. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
I don't know.
I just had you rolling 2 D6s, re-rolling double ones for the top.
It's so convoluted.
Is it?
I don't know.
2 D6s re-rolling double ones.
Why don't you roll a D8 and a D12?
And that equals 20.
Nah, but like the 8 is like the
Yeah.
the row and then the 12 is the columns.
but re-rolling ones.
Or 12s.
Or, well, you can't re-roll both.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so you randomly select your location for your...
Or you could make it like
Nexus.
really weird and make it reroll 3s.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, re-roll 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on.
You can have that one for free.
I'll throw that out. I'm going to credit you.
Yeah, thank you.
Then you see the publisher's just called like High Fleet Shane. And everything is just about re-rolling 3s.
Yeah. Any 3s. It's a game-wide rule.
Yeah.
Reroll 3s.
It's like how games have like 6s auto hit, 1s auto miss.
Yeah.
Re-roll 3s.
Yeah.
But that's a hit. Re-roll it.
Doesn't matter.
Natural. Is it a nat 3?
Yeah.
Modified 3s, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so you make your base and you have a campaign turn. And so you play through the different turns. You basically create this little base and try and gather biomass.
Yeah.
Masses of bio.
Firstly, I'd like to apologise. It's 16 minutes in right now, and haven't let you speak about your game for 2 minutes.
Oh, this is a really good way to explain what it's like to explain board games to you guys.
Yeah, like
Because every homie has seen it. They'll be like, poor Fox is just trying to tell his story and he's dumb. He's got to talk about Halo or some shit. And Steve, would you say Steve Heim?
it's his German uncle.
Chaim is Jewish. Okay, so it's a potato.
That'll get us cancelled.
They were in the same area.
Jesus Christ.
No, he was also Jewish. The king of the Jews, in fact.
Steve.
No, Jesus. He said Jesus Christ. Steve Heim. Steve
Chaim, the king of the Jews.
Steve Heim was the general manager for the Arizona Cardinals NFL football team. Was not king of the Jews. Anyway, I made a game. It's been great. I'll see you guys next week. Oh, it's all right. There's only 15 pages left to go, and one of them's barely a paragraph.
Oh, shit. That many.
So anyway, you spend your biomass. You can use that to build structures.
Yep.
Your structures do different things.
Is it like a tower defense game?
It's more like, yeah, it is. No. It's kind of like the premise is these little grids are, you start with your nexus.
Yep.
And then your goal is to attack areas and infect them or infest them.
Yep.
And so then you put a little infested node marker down on the map, and then that unlocks a building for you.
Mm-hmm.
Every square, every grid, every area on the map that you infest generates you biomass, but also allows you to put a building on it. But it's a bit of a juggle because to maintain your buildings, you need drones.
Mm-hmm.
StarCraft. I mean, not... I don't think it's StarCraft. But
Blizzard won't care.
yeah, no, they
Of
don't
all
even know who I am.
companies, they won't care.
They've got enough problems of their own. They've got bigger things to deal with than me.
True.
Unless I am an employee. But then you need to have enough dens to house your hivelings, which are... There's not just drones, there's a bunch of different creatures, aliens, you can make to maintain different parts of the hive.
Sure. So there's like a hierarchy of like non-combat.
Correct.
There's like
Yeah.
a Zergling and a Roach and a Hydra.
No, those are combat.
Ultralisk. Yeah.
No, those are all combat ones.
Oh.
You're thinking about overlords, drones. What's the little ones? Lava.
Oh, yep.
No, we got drones, scatterbugs, vibrobugs. I wrote small flying bugs. Think of a better name. Tunnelers. All things that do different things around the hive.
Should call the flying ones gnats.
I'll just listen back to this episode for
Got a
these brilliant
penny for you.
ideas.
There you go.
I'll be like, oh, I wonder what time I start talking about my game. Probably 5 minutes
You feel
in.
like scribbling that in? Yeah, just put it Shane next
With
to
a-
it so you know to credit me for that too.
GNAT. And let me just note what time of the episode we talked about this. Now, early on, right? This was the first thing we're going to do. So I'll just mark down about 7 minutes is probably when we did it. 7 minutes in.
I mean-
because we got to leave room for Shane's game and then Migraine's game and the other games in the Discord channel. Anyway, I'm sure there'll be, holy fuck! It's 19 minutes in. All right. So yeah, so it's a bit of a tug of war as you try and maintain your non-combat things, which are called hivelings.
Yeah.
That you keep there. You need dens to house them all, but you also need other things to do things. Mm-hmm. Then your combat ones is sort of like your roster that you make up that you actually fight with. Those are called swarmlings.
Sure.
There's scratchlings, berserkers, brutes, hive lords, behemoths. You basically use your biomass to buy the chassis of these creatures.
Okay.
And then you put adaptations on them.
Nice.
Either combat or non-combat. You can put things like wings, which is a really unique idea, I think.
No one's ever thought of that.
You've got things like reinforced chitin.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when we thought it was pronounced chitin,
Yes.
and we were going to name this podcast Chit and Chat.
I think about that probably
daily.
once a week.
And the other one was we were also going to call ourselves Motley Sprue.
Yes.
So that's that.
How far things have come.
Yeah. We regret both of those every day. We're like, oh man, I wish.
It's like, when you like wake up and you like think about something you did back in like year 7, like this cute girl said hi and then you just, I don't know, said something
And you
dumb.
said good thanks.
yeah. You wake up with a cold sweat going, oh my God. That's chit and chat.
Chit and Chat. Oh
Every
man,
day.
if I just wished chitin was pronounced chitin, and then we could have done it.
I remember we got up the old Google,
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it in there and had it say it to us.
Yeah.
And we're like, surely some accent says it is chitten.
Yeah,
We're
no,
like,
there was nothing.
US male, chitin. US female, chitin.
Yeah.
Let's go English, come on.
Yeah, let's go old English. Chitin.
It's like, God damn.
No. I got also acid glands because I thought, and adrenal glands. I
Oh,
thought
who's-
those-
Adrenal glands.
yeah. Oh wait,
yeah.
I've got line through text on the glands. This is acid and adrenal, and some of this is a work in progress. but
Sacs.
I've got exospines, thick skin.
Oh, yeah.
Something I don't have, but I can role play as a bug with that.
Can you get like an infested Kerrigan or?
Yeah.
Kerrigan.
Blue doesn't work, use black.
Blue doesn't work.
I use blue too much, so I run out.
Well, there you go. It's good to see that you care again. Anyway,
Smooth.
thank you, everyone. I'm
Sharp,
here all
like
night. Well, for the next 8 minutes,
like
which is
the
almost enough
eraser
time to
of
get
the
through the content I originally planned. Anyways,
Speed things up.
what the fuck?
It's been
I
doing
mean, you set the pace of the episode, Fox.
Yeah.
Come on.
In
You asked for
my
this.
defense. All right, so a campaign. Anyway, yeah. So you maintain your hive. You do some things. You can build structures, gather biomass, sabotage some of the things, spar, adapt. You fight things. My favorite mechanics are advantage and disadvantage because I wanted this to be a game of preparation and hunting.
Okay.
So you can do certain actions in the non-combat phase of the campaign where you spy on outposts or try and attack little like parties traveling from outpost to outpost. And your locations on the map actually matter because if you move, say the humans attack your hive up north
Yep.
and you're all the way down south in the Bible Belt and you have to move your group of hivelings up there, however many grids you move through is how many days it took.
Okay.
And that's how much disadvantage you have for that attack.
Yeah, right. So the humans have like dug in, they've already done some damage,
For sure.
burned some things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we hate that. As
yeah.
bugs, we hate getting burnt.
I imagine fire is probably not good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a Pokemon game where it's like
Yeah.
fire is strong against us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's it.
Are you strong against humans?
No, we're terrible against humans.
What are you strong against?
That's the fun part of it. That's the fun part about this game. How obnoxious to say. It's probably garbage, but that's one thing I would like to try and convey in the game is that you would need a swarm of bugs to successfully beat the humans.
Yeah.
Playing into that cliche. However, there isn't a swarm of you.
Yeah.
So you have to find all these little advantages, like
Guerrilla warfare.
yeah, for you,
Find gorillas to help fight.
the war.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. There's no gorillas here, so it's a bit of a
That's a
struggle.
shame.
But I've got a pen, so I can just add that in there, actually. So, anyways,
Put
that's
Church in it. Give him that one. Yeah.
yeah, he did nod, and that's kind of what. Okay, you said it, and I was like, that's okay, and then he
Yeah.
nodded.
When
I was
he
like,
solidified it.
Gorillas,
Yeah.
guerrilla warfare.
So is it a solo game?
It is solo, cooperative, and one-shot PvP.
Okay.
So you can use either the to build your like human military list,
Yep.
you use what's called threat. That's your points.
Yep.
And the threat points is based on the alien's biomass points.
Sure.
So you take your total biomass of your list and all its upgrades.
Yep.
There's a little table here that tells you what threat that falls into.
Oh, nice.
So if you had, say, 200 biomass,
Yep.
you'd be playing at 30 threat. So
Okay.
you'd use threat to build your list. So you can actually just go PvP.
So like you could say, here's my campaign swarm.
Yeah.
I want to play a PvP game, and then I pick the humans and I say, oh, okay, so 30 threat level.
Yeah, and then you could choose to, like, against... we could either play it as a campaign thing. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, I've got this campaign turn. I'd love to play against you.
Yep.
Can you use 30 threat to build a list?
Oh, yeah.
And you could do that. Or you could go, yeah, here's my bugs. Let's do a one-shot.
Yep.
What I would like to eventually do is do the flip side and do a human campaign.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be too difficult because it would use a lot of the same principles.
Yep.
But then you could have people playing in separate campaigns that throw their thing together.
Nice.
Or you could play against your mate a joined campaign.
Yep.
But there's also co-op rules so that you both have one group of swarmlings.
Oh, yeah.
You perform all the same actions, but you just fight on two different fronts, effectively. The game progresses faster, but you could also choose how many maps you play on.
Yep.
So the goal is there's a human base on this map that's quite difficult to beat.
Yep.
That's uncovered at the start. You have to find where it is. If you beat it, you can say, that was my win condition. I just wanted to play one map.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can join up another map.
Yep.
Or you could go as many as you like, because they're just A4 pieces of paper with grids.
Stick them together.
Stick them together.
Yep.
And you could say, I want to beat 4 bases is my win condition,
Yep.
or whatever. So, yeah, you plan, you prepare, you hunt. When you play the actual tabletop game, all the aliens start with hidden tokens on them. And there are conditions where the humans would obviously spot you.
Yep.
But I feel like there's a lot of games where they try and do the stealth part of it. And I've played I've read the rules of a couple, and I'm just like, it feels awkward to play against the other people.
Yeah.
Whereas my goal is to have you play as this and understand it's like almost like line of sight.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't see you. You're behind that thing.
Yeah.
I can't see you because I've got a hidden token, but I do have a scanner. And so whoever I want to spot, I just have to be close enough to them, roll my scanner, and because that will reveal the closest hidden target. And you just remove the hidden.
Yep.
Any move action you do that isn't like a stealth walk
Yep.
takes off that hidden token anyways. So you kind of got to play pretty cagey, get up close and try and go for the alpha strike.
Yeah.
Anything else will just murk you
Yep.
because you're supposed to be a swarm, but you don't have the swarm yet.
Yeah. So this is like face huggers versus like the colonial marines.
Correct.
In like Alien.
Yeah.
It's like just crawling around, you're no good. So you got to use stealth and
Yeah.
the element of surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
And the stronger you get, the more resources the humans are sending to combat you,
Yeah,
which
yep.
is why the threat goes up. But also I find these campaign games struggle to scale. So I'm trying to scale it up so
Yeah.
that you're getting cooler stuff and cooler models.
Yeah.
Like you can play with the biggest Tyranid model you own. You would just call it a behemoth, throw up on all the monstrous weapons on it. And hopefully that would be balanced against, but that would be like 500 points, which is the max you can have in one group.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll be playing against 60 threat, which would be about almost 30 low-level Marines or 5 high-level, I forget what I call it, Vanguards.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's got a bit of base building. There's a few different main objectives like onslaught, assassinate, hit and run, attack defenses, area control.
Nice.
Deployment conditions, if you're on the offensive, are like flank, scattered, ambush, standard. Couldn't think of a better name.
Standard's good. It's
standard.
It's what's in the tin.
Yeah, it is what's in the tin.
Yeah.
It's what's written on the box.
Yeah.
Delayed and vanguard. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm overusing that word. The enemies are pathfinders, enforcers, troopers, infiltrators, operatives, sentinels, vanguard.
Vehicles.
I haven't even thought about that, dude.
Because like the first thing I thought of when I mentioned burning hives was like a chimera, like what are they called? The flame tank, hellhound.
Oh, yeah.
Like a flamethrower tank.
Yeah.
That's what I'd send in to take out an alien infestation.
Well, it's kind of like, so there's like a bit of an old world that has a lot of abandoned equipment on this planet. The
Yeah.
wider lore that I couldn't get into because, I don't know, something was happening at the start of the episode
What do you mean?
was that like the humans used to live here and have a base, but they were called away for a larger war. So they kind of had early establishments set up here. Then they had to ditch.
Yep.
Now they've come back, but they only just got back here. So they're on limited resources too. So they don't have the, you know, they aren't really in a position to, by the time they figure out there's aliens, you've already hit hard enough that you've got a little bit of a build up.
Yep.
So now they're scrambling to try and find you.
So they're like the first sort of troops coming home after being away.
Yeah.
And they're like, these guys, these aren't part of the local fauna.
They weren't here 50 years ago,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Because we would have had a lot more trouble. We would have heard about this, I feel
It would
like.
have been written down somewhere.
Yeah, there would have been notes.
Yep. Yep.
Aliens was here.
Yep.
Scraped onto the, yeah.
Can I have a quick look at that little thing? So you've put, I mean, I'm sorry to derail the episode so much at the start, but like you've put a lot of effort into this. This is
More than you.
this is awesome. Like there's so much here. Definitely ready to play the game.
Yeah, I think so. I was the night before, I was so deep into, I'd listed out like 20 different weapons for all the Marines, and I was trying to like balance all the profiles because I use a weird combat system I'm trialing. And I was just like, why don't I just chill for playtesting? Let's just say light weapons do this,
Yep.
have one stat line.
Yep.
Military weapons have this stat line, and heavy military weapons or advanced military weapons have this one stat line.
I don't think you need to break it down as to like this is what a rifle does, this is what a handgun
that's what
does.
I had.
Yeah, because like I feel like that's the common way to go, right? Because you think like, but at the end of the day, like a rifle or a handgun, it's kind of going to do the same thing.
Well,
It's going to put a hole in something.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Like maybe the rifle puts a bigger hole, but like at the end of the day, you know, you're shooting a bit of lead through something. So
that's it. Yeah.
you probably maybe assault rifles would have their own thing, or like automatic weapons, maybe.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
And I can expand on it, like you said.
Yeah.
But I had like snipers and SMGs and shotguns and had them all kind of trying to be really nuanced. And I'm like,
Yep.
well, at the end of the day, the role is to represent that the shot that you did, how much damage does that do to the alien?
Yeah, yeah.
And like you said, is that a handgun? Because like, yeah, a handgun obviously not as strong as a rifle, but if the handgun bullet goes through its head
Yeah.
and the rifle shot misses,
Yeah.
like what are we doing here?
Yeah. This is something that I used to always think about, like playing 40K, like you roll for like a bolter and it's like one shot each.
Yeah.
I'm like, a bolter is meant to be shooting like 40 mil shots, right?
Yeah.
Like one dice feels wrong,
Yeah.
but it's when you look at it like that one dice is the whole attack.
yeah.
It's not one dice per like actual, you know, bullet coming out of the
Bullet.
magazine.
Yeah.
So like
I think
maybe it's something similar to that. Like it's like
For
you're
sure.
rolling for the combat action where a rifle might be like one shot where a handgun might be like 3 shots.
Yeah. And I think games have like a limited scope with how much you can throw in there before it's just too weighty.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just need to decide where that is. So if your game was just about combat,
yeah.
then sure, have each roll be a bullet.
Yeah.
Have stuff like ammo, which I originally had, and try to track ammo and guns jamming and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
if your game's
yeah.
just about combat and has some other stuff. But if your game's about building a hive and maintaining your hive, and you've got non-combat hivelings and groups of swarmlings, and how far they travel does this, and attacking an outpost depending on how you attack it and the success. If you got all this extra stuff, then don't also throw in, and for the bad guys, there's this different gun which has, you know, so
Feels like the combat side of the game, it's only half the game, which is common for these campaign-driven, primarily solo play games, right?
Yeah.
There's also the off-the-table side, which can be massive. Like it sounds like you've got heaps planned for that.
Yeah.
The whole base building thing, the map, exploring the map, deciding where you're going to send your scouts to go. Like you said earlier, like you're leaving something exposed.
Yep.
So you might have like, I don't know, a table to roll on to see if something gets counted or whatever. But like,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, like maybe, yeah. Like maybe adding the breaking down of the weapons is unnecessary weight, maybe.
And that's the kind of stuff, like I'll always remember what Lachlan, the creator of Wartide, a successfully backed Kickstarter game,
Insane.
said, and that's rush your game to playtest.
Yep.
Because it's no good like doing all this stuff
Yeah, yeah.
and then playtesting it and realizing
Doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
So you scrap all of it. There goes like 2 weeks worth of work you spent on those.
And also, the longer you spend on it, the more you build it up in your head.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the harder it is for you to scrap. So the further you are away from creating a good game,
Yeah.
because your heart doesn't want to scrap it,
Yeah.
even though that's the smart thing to do.
Maybe that mechanic is garbage and you're like, no, I love it. I've spent so long on it. And everyone you play with is like, yeah, the game was sweet, but I kind of didn't really like that. And you're like, that's
Yeah.
the one thing that I...
Yeah.
Sometimes
And
you
you're
might
like, but
just have
I
to-
like it and it's my game.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe you just have to, I don't know, put it as like a bonus rule or something.
bonus rule that only you play.
Yeah, advanced rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, whereas on the flip side, if you rush to playtest and you play it and you feel like it needs more, it's so much easier to add that depth
Yeah.
than it is to strip away stuff you've already worked on.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I'm like, simplify if I feel like, nah, that guy has a shotgun and that should feel like a shotgun.
Yep.
And that's not going to add too much to the game, then I can do it.
Yeah.
But at least get it on the table first.
You could even break it down to like close quarters weapons or like
Yeah.
long range weapons, and then you can close quarters weapons. You can have like shotguns and SMGs,
Yeah.
and then maybe sidearm is a weapon that you could have.
Interesting that you say that. Maybe a sidearm is a weapon that you could have.
I don't know.
I don't even know my rules on where everything is. But anyways,
And then
a sidearm is actually not a weapon; it's a piece of equipment, which counts as a weapon.
oh sure. Glad we clarified that.
There you go. What's that say?
Sidearm.
Yeah, there we go. A
I know.
4/4 attack that can be used in close
Grenade.
combat and ranged, but
Ah.
cannot critical hit.
Oh yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Because ranged weapons, it's one of those games where it's like, because we're playing on like a 2x2,
Everything's in range.
everything's in range.
Yep.
We're not talking about range.
No.
You telling me this sniper rifle can only shoot from this corner to over here?
Yeah.
Or like this Uzi can't hit that thing over there?
Yep.
You're out of your mind.
Yep.
Yeah, so everything can hit. The difference between ranged and close combat is whether or not you can use it in close combat.
Yep.
So you can't use a sniper when they're within 3 inches.
No. You can use the stock of the rifle.
You do have just like everyone has a base melee attack.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyways, there's a bunch of other rules like all the aliens have impact, which is like
Oh yeah.
basically a charge.
Yep.
So your attack on the charge. They also have originally they had fatigue or exhaustion.
Yep.
Everyone did. Like if you sprinted, you got it. There's different types. There's like 3 or 4 different types of moves as well. So you can kind of play around. Anyway, there's lots of
Yeah.
stuff in there.
I feel like aliens shouldn't suffer from fatigue though.
Yeah, it was fatigue, and then I changed it to staggered,
Oh yeah.
which is like you kind of went in with a full head of steam
Yeah.
and whiffed,
Knock the head off it.
or like it was staggered for the second turn. So the first
Yep.
turn you went in, your attack had like a flurry.
Yep.
So it was like you went in with speed, your impact was heaps.
Yep.
But then the turn after that, you had to collect yourself or whatever. You
Yep.
were staggered. But I've rolled everything into that same advantage, disadvantage.
Sure.
So it was like the turn you charge, you've got advantage. The turn after that, you got disadvantage.
Okay. And then
Which-
back to level playing field after that.
Well, the cool thing about those advantage and disadvantage are they're like they're tokens.
Oh yeah.
And if it says this character gains that, you just put that token on them.
Okay.
But at the start of the game, you start with a pool of advantage and disadvantage, and you hand them out in the game as you wish.
Ah, right.
So all those out of game events give you those tokens to start with.
Yep. That's cool.
So, you never have both tokens. You just take the difference. So, like, say you went into the game with 5 advantage
Yep.
and 3 disadvantage, they offset. So you,
So you got
come in
2
with 2
advantage.
advantage.
Yep.
So you get those 2 tokens. You can throw them on a thing at the start of any
So
turn.
okay, so you can use that like a crucial I'm going to give myself advantage because I need to succeed here.
Yeah, you could stack it too. So advantage
yeah.
is basically adding 2 to a roll.
Yeah.
So you could be like, the thing is, but you have to do it at the start of your activation.
Yep.
So you have to choose, I'm going to use advantage on this thing.
Yep.
You don't get to see the roll first. Mm-hmm. So you might throw 2 advantage tokens on something, give
And
you
then
a
roll a
+4,
crit.
and then roll a crit.
Yeah.
So, but it just helps you guarantee
Yep.
better odds.
Yeah.
So
that's
anyways,
fair. That's
yeah.
cool. I like that.
So you're doing all these things to try and gain that edge in combat because, again, you basically usually have the same model count as your opponent, but their things are like twice as good.
Yeah.
So you need to use stealth,
Yeah.
advantage, all that kind of thing. Anyway,
Nice.
that's what I got so far.
Sounds good. Looks good.
We'll have to do another episode where we talk about your game.
I mean, my game's nothing. It's just a little something I've been working on for a while.
For a while, for 10 years.
Like 3. But I mean, that's awesome, man. To see it finally. You message me at least once a month and say, this message is 8 minutes long. Listen to it if you feel like it, but I won't care if you don't. It's about a game I made.
Yeah.
And I'm going to save that one for the drive home.
Yeah, it's like a mini podcast.
Yeah. And it's always something like, I've made this game. I've got this mechanic, and dude, your games are just incredible. The things that you come up with are just phenomenal. Like
Thanks,
the
man.
the Forest Spirit game that
I
you're
love
working
it.
on, and this one, and yeah, it's like when I think of a game, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do Stalker, but like
That got released this month, actually. Stalker
well,
the board game.
fuck those guys.
Yeah. Stole your idea, right?
yeah.
They owe you some money, man. Yeah.
But like yours are just really really unique, and I love it, and I looking forward to playing it.
It'll be cool. I think. We'll see. We'll see. Every other game, I get to that 4-page struggle.
Yeah.
But this one just flowed. Like, I started it 4 days ago, and I haven't. There was times where I was like, oh, I want to paint some models. Oh, I want to play that. I want to play BAR, B-A-R, with you guys. And then I was like, I'll just do a little bit of this. And then it's like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, well, I don't know where that 4 hours went. But I got 3 more pages.
That's awesome.
So
That's so good.
I'm enjoying the process of this game a lot more. I feel like it's cool. We'll see how it goes.
I've seen you in the Discord channel as well, the game development channel, talking between all the homies, like with the different mechanics and weighing up things and getting ideas off them, which is such an awesome thing to see.
I feel like those guys, and Migraine especially, has inspired me to just like take the next step in making these games and push through.
Yep.
I see some of the cool stuff they're making. I'm like, your games are so close.
Yeah.
You could get this on the table now and play it. I've never had that, and I'm like, hey, I could probably just do that.
Just do it. Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you, game development homies.
Hell yeah.
Vumu, Migraine, Broheim, all of y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have the same bug as us, not bug, obviously that's trademarked in my game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't use the word bug.
Like, you need a cream, something. I
Cream. Did I tell you about this time, Dr. Douglas? If you are like us and you like creating RPGs, your own games.
Yeah, your own worlds.
Your own worlds. We have a whole channel in our Discord just for that. People sharing their ideas. You can play test each other's games. I was like, I don't know about this mechanic. What do you think? My grandma was like, you can do it like this or do it like this. Broham was like, have you played this? That mechanic that my grand's talking about is kind of like this.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool. So jump in there. We've got a lot of channels in the Discord. If you're a tabletop enthusiast of any kind, there's something for you.
There's something for everyone in there.
Everyone.
There's
bubblegum.
There's a lack of bubblegum.
Well, according to some people.
If you want to join the Discord, you can find links on hobbyhomies.com. There you can find links to our other stuff as well, like our socials. And you can email us if you want to. Feel free to send an electronic letter. I'll read it.
Will you?
Yeah, I'll read it. I'll read anything.
Yeah, I know you will.
Once.
You should hear this guy's political opinions. You can tell he reads anything.
Oh, Jesus.
He thinks Steve Heim is king of the Jews.
He was there, wasn't he?
For the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. Anyway, thank you to our patrons. For some reason, you support us, and that gives us money, and that helps. That money is like a resource in my newest game. It's kind of like biomass. We use that to buy and upgrade our hives.
Yeah, we upgrade Churchy with it.
We upgrade Churchy. It's the same old Churchy, but upgraded with adaptations.
Yeah.
Like the ability to search on the fly for the guitarist that was involved in Halo 2. Is that this episode? This feels like an eternity ago.
He's also got the patience adaptation to sit there for 44 minutes while we just fucking do shit.
Hey, he helped. He helped. He added to the shit.
Yeah.
He was right up
And then I
amongst it.
shut up because I was like, it's getting too derailed.
True. I had to bite my tongue a little bit.
Is that why it's bleeding?
Won't stop.
There's always two of us bouncing off each other.
Gots to.
Just,
And one poor, cute, adorable little innocent soul.
Hiveling.
A little
Is that
hiveling.
what you call them? Hivelings?
Hivelings are the non-combat,
wasn't
swarmlings are the combat.
listening.
That's why I printed a book just for you.
Thank
It was
you.
like, you're not going to understand it, but after the episode, maybe you'll sit down and
Yeah.
yeah. It's garbage.
This will burn nicely.
Some kindling for my I don't give a fuck section of the backyard. Anyway.
Thank you, patrons. Big shout out to you guys. As always, we have the goats. We have Burnsy and File Dinosaur, Gridlock, Alex, MJ, Test Dummy, and Black Apollo.
We got Brandon W, Moose, Elko, Churchy, Rad, Ollie, Hockers, Pinny, Agro, Don Hua Don, Pure Blind, Primal Nerds, Jackson V, and Big Roach.
You held it.
I tried.
The last few weeks you haven't been holding it, and I never know if you're going to hold it or not, so
I deliberately, I want to hold it on my own. I don't want you to join in. It's like me.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's my niche. So you can just
it's your niche.
fuck off. So when I hold it and you hold it as well, I'm like, oh, he's getting used to it. So I have to change it up so I can hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah. So if you kindly, I've been meaning to talk to you about this for a while. Actually.
Okay, let's do this. Let's unbox this right now.
Well, I'm just saying. No, I feel like it's appropriately unboxed. I feel like you've handled it okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew I was such a big inconvenience, then I'd just fucking go and fuck myself.
I'm not saying you're an inconvenience, dude. I just wanted to say that sometimes it's nice to big roach myself.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you can big roach yourself when I'm not home.
But that's the problem. You're always here. You never
Maybe
leave.
I'll just go out for a while. You can big roach yourself and just text me when you're
Nah, it's not the same because then you know I'm big roaching myself.
I just like to big roach ourselves together.
No. I don't want you to go for a walk around the block knowing I'm big roaching myself. I just want to be able to big roach myself whenever I want and you not know about it. You not be here or know about it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I'll get a hobby.
Well, that would be nice. I'm just saying, like, I think that would be good for you and it would be good for me. So
Good for us.
I mean, I sneak in and big roach sometimes when you guys are at work.
That's fucking gross.
What is
What's wrong with this guy?
You're an animal, dude.
You just come in here and big roach.
You're
yourself.
The animal.
Ivan. Fucking Ivan.
Fucking Ivan. So no Ivan, not any Ivans we know.
No.
It's Ivan the animal.
Ivan the animal.
From a few
Doom,
weeks ago.
Doom Slayer?
From a few weeks ago. Go
Down
watch
Under or
Fox's fucking models that he doesn't like or whatever. Whatever bullshit name Shane comes up with while he's not big roaching himself. I'll see you next week.
Hooroo.
Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but the penny town red. Can't let that go in my head, war gaming.